Alright, Doston, welcome back to Crypto Brain. And before we begin today's analysis, I want you to pause for a moment and seriously think about this question. What happens when the most unpredictable billionaire on the planet suddenly becomes connected to an unknown meme coin? Because history has already shown us that in the crypto world, narratives move faster than logic and influence of 10 becomes more powerful than fundamentals. Now, the reason today's discussion is becoming so explosive is because one specific rumor has started spreading across underground crypto forums, private investor groups, and hidden X space at a speed that is genuinely shocking, and the center of this entire narrative is Toshi. But their real reason the market is becoming emotionally charged is because these con name attached to this story is Elon Musk. No, officially there is absolutely no confirmation that Elon Musk has any direct involvement with Toshi. However, crypto markets do not move purely on confirmation, they move on psychology, speculation, and perceived future possibility, and experienced traders understand that better than anyone else, because sometimes a rumor alone becomes strong enough to create liquidity movements before reality even arrives. And according to several anonymous market observers, some unusual wallet activity has recently appeared across blockchain tracking systems, with some analysts claiming that approximately $1 million worth of Toshi accumulation may have quietly moved through networks allegedly connected to powerful Silicon Valley circles. Now, whether these claims are accurate or not remains impossible to verify, but what true matters is show the market reacts to the narrative itself, because once Elon Musk's name becomes associated with any digital asset, even indirectly, the emotional temperature of the entire crypto market immediately changes. And we have already seen this happen multiple times throughout crypto history, because people have forget that Dogecoin itself was once treated as nothing more than an internet joke until Elon Musk's interactions transformed into one of the most recognizable meme assets on Earth. At the beginning, almost everyone laughed at the idea. Serious investors dismissed it, mainstream analysts mocked it, and retail traders ignored it. But quietly behind the scenes, smart money was already positioning itself early while the broader public remained distracted, and by the time the majority finally understood what was happening, the market had already exploded. And now, according to some traders, that exact same behavioral pattern may slowly be forming again around Toshi. Let's analyze why this particular rumor has become so psychologically powerful, because Elon Musk represents far more than just another billionaire in the eyes of the crypto market. They represent unpredictability, internet culture, meme psychology, innovation, and perhaps most importantly, narrative acceleration. Because whenever Elon becomes connected to an idea, social media transforms that idea into an emotional movement almost instantly, and that emotional momentum one can create extraordinary volatility. Now, one of the biggest questions currently dominating crypto discussions is this: why would Elon Musk allegedly become interested in Toshi specifically? Because thousands of meme coins already exist across the market, so why is Toshi suddenly attracting this level of attention? According to some analysts, the answer may lie within a combination of branding, internet culture, base ecosystem positioning, and psychological market timing, because meme coins succeed when they capture identity, not simply utility. And Toshi appears to be developing an identity capable of expanding extremely quickly if the right catalyst ever arrives. Now, another reason traders are watching this situation closely is because Elon Musk has repeatedly demonstrated interest in digital communities, artificial intelligence, online ecosystems, and social interaction models, and this has created another fascinating theory currently spreading online. What if she's not simply being viewed as another meme token, but instead as part of a much larger future ecosystem narrative connected to AI-driven communities, internet payments, or social engagement systems? Now, of course, there is absolutely no evidence confirming this theory, but in crypto markets, possibility itself often becomes a knot. Trigger speculation, especially during periods where liquidity conditions begin improving and investor optimism starts returning. Now, another extremely interesting aspect of this narrative is the growing discussion surrounding a possible future connection between Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and meme-driven internet communities, because over the last few years, crypto has evolved beyond technology alone. It has become deeply connected with online identity, politics, digital influence, internet tribes, and social power structures. And according to several digital economy analysts, the next major crypto cycle may not be dominated purely by technical innovation, but by community-driven emotional ecosystems capable of attracting massive public participation. And if that theory proves correct, then meme projects with strong branding and internet culture appeal could potentially become much more influential than most traditional investors currently expect. Now this brings us to another major question that has started keeping many investors awake at night. Could Toshi eventually become connected to a future payment ecosystem surrounding X? Because Elon Musk has already spoken publicly multiple times about building an everything app, combining communication, finance, digital identity, and online interaction. And naturally, this has caused some investors to speculate whether future meme-driven tokens with strong online engagement could eventually play a role inside broader internet ecosystems. Again, there is no official confirmation of anything. However, the reason these theories continues spreading is because crypto markets are built on future image. In Ashanan, enough people begin visualizing a narrative, momentum starts feeding itself. Now, another factor adding fuel to the fire is the similarity many traders are noticing between the early Dogecoin cycle and the current emotional energy developing around Toshi. Because Dogecoin was never driven purely by utility. It was driven by internet culture, humor, online identity, and community obsession, and according to some analysts, Toshi may now be following a surprisingly similar psychological pattern, especially if influential figures continue becoming indirectly associated with the narrative. Now, one particularly dangerous theory circulating across crypto claims that billionaires and larger market participants may intentionally avoid publicly discussing Toshi while quietly accumulating positions behind the scenes, because historically smart money rarely creates noise during accumulation phases. Instead, it positions itself silently before broader retail excitement arrives, and only after momentum becomes unavoidable does mainstream attention fully explode. And this X-act behavioral cycle has already repeated itself countless times across crypto history. First comes silence, the memes, then influencer activation, then finally public euphoria, and perhaps that is exactly why experienced traders are watching Toshi much more carefully than most people realize. Now let's discuss another critical point: market psychology, because ultimately crypto markets are not controlled purely by charts. They are controlled by emotion, greed, fear, curiosity, and collective belief. And whenever a narrative successfully captures humor, no imagination, price action can become extraordinarily irrational, especially inside the meme coin sector, because meme assets operate almost entirely on emotional momentum and community behavior. And if Elon Musk ever directly or indirectly acknowledges Toshi publicly event through something as small as a meme reaction, a single post, or a cryptic message, the market reaction could become extremely aggressive. Because investors have already witnessed the power of Elon-related meme cycles before, and once people believe history might repeat itself, speculative behavior accelerates dramatically. Now imagine for a moment what happens if broader crypto market liquidity fully returns during the next bull cycle, while Toshi simultaneously continues gaining narrative momentum. Because at that stage, the market would no longer be reacting logically, it would be reacting emotionally, socially, and psychologically. All at once, and historically, those are exactly the conditions where the most explosive memories occur. Now, of course, it is equally important to remain disciplined, because note every rumor mess reality, and note every narrative evolves into long-term success, which is why professional traders focus not only on excitement, but also on structure, liquidity, volume, behavior, whale positioning, and market timing, because sustainable momentum requires more than just temporary hype. However, ignoring developing narratives entirely can also become dangerous, because some of the largest opportunities in crypto history initially appeared ridiculous before eventually becoming unstoppable, and perhaps that is exactly why Toshi has now started to ring on more watch lists across the market, because regardless of whether these Elon Musk rumors eventually prove true or false, attention itself is already becoming a catalyst. Now, perhaps the most important lesson investors should understand from all of this is that crypto wealth is rarely created by following the crowd after the explosion happens. Instead, it is usually created by recognizing psychological shifts before the majority fully understands what is developing, because markets move in stages: first disbelief, then curiosity, then speculation, then obsession, and finally euphoria. And many experienced traders now believe Toshi may currently be transitioning somewhere between the curiosity and speculation phase, which is exactly why smart money behaves being watched so closely. Now, ultimately, on today's discussion was never simply about Mcoin. It was about understanding the hidden psychological game operating beneath modern crypto markets, where billionaire influence, internet cultures, social identity, and liquidity behavior all come together to create narratives capable of moving billions of dollars within days. And right now, whether people admit it or not, Toshi is beginning to enter that conversation more aggressively than ever before. So the real question moving forward becomes this: are we witnessing the very early stages of another internet-driven crypto phenomenon? This entire narrative, simply another temporary cycle of speculation. Honestly, only time will answer that question, but one thing remains absolutely certain. In crypto markets, the biggest moves almost always begin while the majority of people are laughing, doubting, or completely distracted, and perhaps that is exactly why so many experienced investors are now quietly paying attention to Toshi, because as sometimes the market reveals its future long before the world notices. Now, if you also want deeper analysis into billionaire psychology, crypto narratives, meme coin cycles, whale behavior, and smart money strategy, then make sure you subscribe to Crypto Brain, because here we do not simply follow trends. We decode the hidden psychology creating them, and who knows, perhaps the opportunity the world low. Saturday becomes the obsession everyone chases tomorrow, so stay smart, stay early, and welcome to Crypto Brain.